I'm Gabriella Cruz alongside the top dog. Woo! He's got his alumni gear on today.
Hey, you like that, huh? That's that.
It is fresh.
You know what's funny? Because I have you talking about, because I see you all the time. I said to myself, I need to step up my game, because whenever I come in the studio and I look to my right and I see you with all that merch that you're wearing, look, you look fresh again with one of those.
I'm fresh to death in this
one of
Cavs
those.
gear. 60 wins for our Cavs, Hanford. That is the first time to reach that feat since the LeBron era. I think that's the third highest in franchise history. Our Cavaliers are hot, top dog.
Well, they are hot, and we're already in the playoffs, but we need to stay hot because we have Boston that is pretty much all over us right now, because I think they want that number one spot, which we have right now. I didn't like it because I was listening to some of the guys talk, and they were talking pretty much about who's going to be in this thing, which one's going to make it to the end. And it's like it's a foregone conclusion with these guys that Boston is the team to beat. And I don't think that's necessarily true, because when you look at, you just mentioned it, when you look at some of the things that the Cavs have accomplished this season and is still accomplishing, the great feat right now, I just think the Cavs are the team, because, man, they are just playing out of their mind right now. But this thing is, I just want to see them, no injuries coming down the stretch. Yep. I want to see them just continue to play well. And I still believe that they have another gear that they can kick in, or they're going to turn that other gear on here during the stretch.
You can definitely see their chemistry in motion. I got a few behind-the-scenes videos, actually, at the Cavs game on Sunday. I actually have a funny story for you, too. Pat, maybe we should lead with this one.
When you start with your funny stories, I don't know whether to get worried.
So I lost a microphone, which isn't that out of character for me, right? But I was in a post-game presser.
Can you lose?
They're this big. They're small, wireless mic.
Okay.
So you put it on the table, so whoever speaks at the presser, you take video on your phone, and then you got the audio later because you put a little mic there. Well, I left the room. 30 seconds had elapsed. I went back, and I go to look for my mic, and I couldn't find it on the table. I'm like, that's so odd. So I'm looking on the ground. I'm looking everywhere. I'm like, somebody might have swiped it. So I'm asking last night, all the media members. I'm like, anybody seen it? This is yay big, and and everyone's like, nah, I haven't seen it. So I was going to go back through footage and see if anyone had on their phone, because I cut my camera too early to know where it went, like what happened to the mic. Well, let's just say I got a live reaction of the dude who stole it. Pat's going to play a video for us.
I don't know. It's my family. What is this? Is this like a mic? I got one of your mics. Yeah.
There you go. See, there it was.
How much do these cost?
It's $100.
I'll get it.
If you get the other one,
I'll bring it back.
That's so funny.
I don't know how I'm like on.
I was like looking on the ground.
No, I went home and I'm like taking stuff out of my pocket, and it's like, what is this thing? It's like a tracking device. You never.
A tracking device. I said, Coach, I didn't need the interview that bad.
His coach is married, right?
Yeah.
His wife probably put that tracking device on him. You guys think, that's why he said he's looking at his pocket. He said, what the hell?
Too funny.
Oh my goodness. How did you didn't know it was missing?
No, I did know it was missing, but what's funny is I just assumed a media member accidentally took it. Maybe they thought it was theirs, or it got flung off the table. It was this huge mystery for like a whole week. And what's funny is I was just asking everybody about it before he stepped into the room, and I happened to be recording and caught his live reaction of being like, oh yeah, I had one of your mics.
See, that's the beauty of winning. When you have a team that's winning, everything is so much fun. You know what I mean?
He's got his mind in other places. Yeah. He's thinking about everything else. I mean, that's a big part of what we were asking him in the press conference. I asked him, like, what does he do to recharge? Because all these players get rest. They get off days, Kenny's always on. All the guys are saying he's a basketball junkie. He's like always looking at film. He finally said yesterday, he's like, I had to tell myself to just stop watching film and go take a walk. My wife and I went for a walk. Like, he's got to take those steps away to be able to sustain that level of excellence that he's always coaching at.
Well, you know, it's going to be funny to see what happens toward the end, what I mean as far as he's concerned, because Coach of the Year, I mean, he's definitely should be, I think he should be the Coach of the Year. But you know who's another guy, a contender, who's up for this award, and it's just a little old coach that's coaching for Detroit right now, who obviously used to be our head basketball coach right here in Cleveland. Right. He's got that team going, so I think it's going to be between one of the two of them, but I would really love to see Kenny win that, because this basketball team, and I'll say this, they have accomplished so much this season, and hopefully it's not over yet.
You know, speaking of Detroit, we got to talk about that brawl.
Oh.
7 players ejected, 2 coaches after the brawl, Pistons and the Timberwolves. Did you catch that?
Oh.
I had to rewatch the video because I was like, that's so exciting.
Well, you know, I like that kind of stuff. I like it.
It's like when Jose and Tim Anderson, like the bench is clear. I don't know, it's a little drama. It's excitement. It's, you know, it's that playoff basketball feel. They're bringing the intensity right now.
And a lot of people are talking about the NBA, and they're talking about the, you know, as far as to watch, I think the NBA is one of the least. Obviously, the NFL is the crown jewel. Everybody want to watch see the NFL play, but I think when you look at the Pistons right now, I think he's got them back to that old. You remember the old Bad Boys? You remember with Isaiah and Lambeer and all those guys were playing for Detroit, and I think that's what, you know, they're trying to get back with that attitude. And a lot of people don't like to see that happen during a basketball game. I do. I don't want to see anybody get hurt.
Yeah.
I don't want to see them, you know, seriously, like punches, you know what I mean, like to the face or anything like that.
Right.
I don't even want to see that in hockey. I hate to see that in hockey, because, you know, in hockey, what they'll do is before the game even starts, they'll just, you know, square up right there at the beginning. Shit, let's get it on. But I love to see that emotion coming from those players, those basketball players. But you hit it. I think it was. I know it was 2 coaches.
Yeah,
and
7 players ejected.
Yeah, it was. I think it was 7 or 5, one of the 2. But it's still the same thing that was ejected. And then also there was another game where there was a little altercation. Kevin Durant got into it, and there was a little bit of a fight or something going on there too. So let it go. I mean, I like it. A lot of people don't like it, but as long as they don't hurt anybody, I think it's just good. But it's funny you mentioned that about that fight with the Detroit Pistons.
Well, what's funny is, meanwhile, we've got All-Star Jarrett Allen. Actually, no, he wasn't an All-Star this year, was he?
I don't even know, actually.
Yeah,
now that I think about it, he should have been, obviously.
He should have
been,
like, because I kept saying he should have been, and I don't know if he was.
If he's not, he should be.
Yeah. He, one of the more likable NBA stars, I should say, Jarrett Allen, meanwhile, is wearing a cat shirt. Did you see this?
No, I didn't see this.
60 wins, let them meow. If we have that video teed up, I'm going to show Hanford this one as well. So we've got the brawls and the scuffles and all of this physical intensity. Not that the Cavs aren't playing with physical intensity, but what's funny is to see Jarrett Allen sporting this T-shirt in the postgame presser, Hanford. You'll get a kick out of this.
Please look at this. Stand up.
Oh my goodness, that is so funny.
60 wins, let them meow.
You know,
some might say that's a little soft, you know, but that's Jarrett Allen. There's just not another like him in the league. And honestly, he was snubbed this year for the All-Star game 2025. Actually, I think that's back-to-back years this dude got snubbed. He's so technically sound. Yeah. I mean, last night, Hanford, he finishes with 25 points, 12 boards, 3 assists. He tends to be just in the right place at the right time. And big credit to our passers on the team. Even Max Strus maybe didn't have the best night offensively. He was just getting the ball to Jarrett Allen, though. Yeah. Just people know how to get him the ball, and he just, like, it's like an automatic bucket. He was dominant in the paint.
Well, I like Allen. I mean, I really do. I like this kid, and he just. But when you look at him and you hear him talk, I mean,
love
he's
that.
such soft spoken, and he
Yeah.
seems like a very very shy guy. Generally a shy guy.
Yeah, he's
But-
like kind of got a nerdy side. to him
Right,
that's so
right,
endearing. Like
right,
people just really love that
right.
he's himself.
But
you know?
when he's on that court, I'm telling you, he turns into a dog.
Yeah.
Meaning he can get it done and he
Yep.
can play, and he's a great asset to this Cleveland Cavaliers team. And again, we got to have him in order to go where we want to go this year. So I'm pretty
Yeah.
excited. But that shirt, I
Yeah.
have to tell you, I mean,
It seems like this team is just having a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I took
yeah.
a video also in the locker room yesterday. Evan Mobley, a little more on the soft-spoken side. But his game has really evolved this year, especially in terms of physicality. Like, we've seen improvements on the offensive end, but truly he's coming out of the woodwork on defense. Like, he was so great again last night, and he's in the post-game press conference, and the guys are all gathered around and, like, taking videos with their phones as if they're part of the media. And they just really wanted to hear him say that he deserves to be Defensive Player of the Year. And so here is some of that video we've got teed up for you as well.
Over who?
Evan Mobley. Over everybody.
Mobley deserves it.
Yeah, keep your eye. Trying to get spicy. Over who? Yeah, right. We need that Supermax bonus, man.
Donovan Mitchell, they were all Isaac Okoro trying to get him to say who deserves Defensive Player of the Year.
Wanted to hear him say.
They wanted to hear, and they didn't take like no for an answer. They made him repeat it over and over, like just the verbal affirmation of it all to make sure this guy knows just how good he is.
Well, I like those two bigs. I mean, I really do. And obviously, Tristan, we have him there where he can come in and he can give us some minutes also. But you know, I think it all starts with Donovan Mitchell, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is the spark plug. That he's the guy, the engine. That makes everything go. I mean, he this whole team, I think, is surrounded around him. But we also, I think, we look at some of those guys that come off the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, they give us that spark that we need also. But this is such, you got to give these guys a lot of credit with how they put this team together. And at the start of the year, guys, if you would have asked me whether or not we're going to win 60 games, I'd have said
With a first-time head coach.
Yeah. I would have said you've lost my mind, and you hit right on it when you said it's the first time since we had LeBron that we've won 60 games. But I just get excited because there's only a few games left, and pretty soon the playoff starts, baby. And I say, let it go. Speaking of basketball, we're not going to stop there. I know you're going to take a break right now, but we're not going to stop. We got to go to that Final Four.
Oh, yes, the Final Four. All one seeds Hanford. Who do you think is going to win?
Oh, God. Can I tell you after the break?
Okay, let's take a break
Okay.
and we'll be back. I like what you did there. We're going to tease it. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. It's time for our Browns headlines brought to you by Northeast Factory Direct. Our friends at Northeast Factory Direct have everything you could possibly need for your home, especially if you need to turn your backyard into the ultimate hangout spot. So they've got beautiful outdoor sectionals, dining sets, sofas, swivel chairs, fire pit tables, you name it. It's stylish, durable, and super comfortable. Northeast Factory Direct works directly with manufacturers, so you get incredible quality at that discounted price, right? No big box stores, no middleman, no markups, just serious savings. We love our friends at Northeast Factory Direct. You can check them out online, northeastfactorydirect.com, or visit any of their stores. We hit up Cleveland store, Hanford and Iowa. There's also Euclid, Macedonia, or North Canton. All you got to do is ask for that Hanford Dixon bonus to get your deal.
And, I think what they do is they rent those spaces so cheap, and that's why they're able to really give you great prices. At the, meaning I say great stores, I'm talking about the factories that they're in.
Yep.
So, you got to go there. You got to go there. And again, as Gab said, don't forget to ask for the Hanford Dixon special because you'll get a little bit something extra off right there. So
it's cool. A lot of their outdoor sets can double. They can even be indoor. They've got everything, truly. So check them out.
Well, it's funny because you were just talking about this Browns section. Right now, everything is going on obviously everybody's getting ready for the draft,
Right.
but they have right now the owners' meetings that it's going on in Florida, and that's a big deal. And out there, Kevin Stefanski and also Andrew Berry, and also the owners. Normally, they all address the media while they're out there. And, I think one of the questions that came up was whether or not the Browns were going to stay at number 2 or whether or not they were going to probably trade down, get some more picks. And I think Barry pretty much said we're going to stay at that number 2 spot. Now, who we're going to take, I don't think I think they have an idea. I don't think they really know yet, though, who that guy is going to be, whether it's going to be a quarterback, whether it's going to be Carter or saying, you just don't know. If it now, and I've been thinking about this thing because you guys know I've been talking and going off about the quarterback position and how we need a quarterback, and I think we still need a quarterback. But now that I'm thinking about it, being the defensive player that I am, I would not have a problem, guys, if we take Carter, if we if we take him with that number 2 pick, and then down the line, here I go again, talking about a Jalen Milrose or something like that from University of Alabama. When I say that, I make Pat get ready to talk on that mic because I know he's got.
Yep, that mute button hates to see me coming. I'll tell you that. Once you get Alabama, Alabama, golly.
Hey, I just I don't know. I still want a quarterback. I still think we need a quarterback because, again, we don't know who our quarterback is going to be because, again, you talk about Pittsburgh, you talk about Baltimore Ravens that have their guy, and Pittsburgh is still trying to get, for some crazy reason, they have this they want Aaron Rodgers. I mean, they want Aaron Rodgers, but he's not going to commit to anyone yet. I heard he was out in somewhere else throwing the football, a wide receiver, somebody was working out, and he's out there with them throwing the football. But who knows what he's going to do. But we need that quarterback, but I wouldn't be opposed to us taking a guy like Carter with that first-round pick.
Yeah.
I would not. Now,
okay. You go.
I was going to say, and I always cut you off, but I'm sorry about that because when I say it, I have to get it out. You got Sanders, who is there, and I don't know if I necessarily, with that 2 pick, you want to go with that the two-way player, the wide receiver or the cornerback. I don't know. Yeah. I just don't know. But I think I wouldn't be opposed to us taking Carter.
Okay.
I'll say that.
All right. Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Berry did meet with Cam Ward in Florida this past week. Do you think that's just due diligence? They've got to do all these. They've got to see everybody.
They have to. They have to sit down with everybody and not just obviously watch them play on the tapes or watch them play in a live workout. They have to meet the guy, especially when you're drafting that high. You want to know the personality. You want to. Obviously, they've done all kind of background checks on all these guys. They know pretty much when he goes to the bathroom. Right now, I mean, it's just true. That's just the way it is. That's what they do. So, but I thought it was interesting. I think you found the clip where Jimmy was addressing the media, and he was talking about the Deshaun thing.
Swing
that,
and a miss.
Yeah, how he said, what was it? How did he put it? Like it was a swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss. Got to climb out of this hole.
Got to climb out of this hole that we put ourselves in.
Yeah, like we thought we had the quarterback, but we didn't.
And he pretty much took the pressure off of Stefanski and Berry, pretty much saying this is, if you want to blame someone for what happened, then blame myself and D. Haslam for that thing. Me personally, I don't think I don't think I think it was still Kevin and Andrew who made that call. Obviously, Jimmy and D had to sign off on the thing, but I think it was those two guys who made that pick. But I like what he was doing there and where he was going, trying to take him off. Go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, so I got a question for you, Hanford. I know you're not on the Kirk Cousins train. But
God.
Don't you know some people out that way over in Westlake and Avon?
Oh.
Here's my due diligence. Have you guys seen this yet?
Oh yeah.
City Barbecue. Do you know anybody over that way? Do you know the Chipotle in Westlake by chance?
Yeah. You
Have
know
you guys
these
seen
areas.
this?
Hey,
That's Hanford's area. Do you know who was out that way?
Did you? I feel
Kirk
like Hanford,
Cousins.
Hanford
Kirk
was
Cousins
the one.
was out
Did you
that
take
way.
this photo?
Kirk
Hanford?
Cousins
Was this Hanford that took this photo?
No, who is that on the photo with him? That's what I was
Just the
trying-
Chipotle workers, I think.
Oh
Crew.
my God! Now,
You think he's scouting out houses, Hanford?
let me ask
If he
you.
is, he's got to talk to Hanford
He's,
Dixon.
he's got
Yeah.
The Hanford Dixon
he's
group.
got to talk to me.
That's a plug for
I have a
Hanford.
question now. City Barbecue. Oh, that's right. That's not. I was thinking about Michael Simon, but that's not Michael. That's not Michael Simon's.
That's right. Mabel's, I think it is. Mabel's
Yeah,
over there.
Maples is Michael Simon
Yep.
because
I know
it's
that
just
you
so.
like Mission Barbecue too.
Yeah. I like Maple too because I was just in. I was walking through this place in the arcade, and I see this guy, and he calls my name, and he's sitting down, and he's in Geraci's. He's sitting there eating a piece of pizza, him and his wife. And I look around, and it's Michael Simon. And, that's what I said. What the hell you doing in town, big dog? He said he wrote a book or something, but he had a book signed. And I'm getting way off the track here. But Jimmy and Dee, they tried to take the pressure off of him, which I understand. But right now it's getting so close to draft. And you're not going to see any moves, guys, I don't think right now, because why would you make a move this early? Because the draft, what's the 24th, 25th? I think it's April 24th.
Yes.
I think it's the 24th and 25th. But what's going to happen is the closer you get to that time, that's when you'll see if anybody's going to make any move, if anybody's going to move up, if anybody's going to move down. That's when you see these guys starting to make their moves. But I get so excited now the closer it gets to draft time.
Yeah.
Because I remember one year when I went to I think the draft was in New York or wherever it was, when I was the guy naming the pick of whoever we were going to pick, because normally they bring out one of the ex-players or something, and they'll have those guys out there making a pick. So I can't wait. I just can't wait to figure out what we're going to do and who we're going to draft.
There's just so much going out there on X and all the speculations and the conspiracy theories. I think everyone's going to be just so excited to know what
You didn't
our
get excited
moves
about the
are.
Kirk Cousins conspiracy theory, guys?
I can't stand.
Why would he have been in Westlake though, Hanford?
I don't
Yeah,
give a
that's a great
damn where
question.
Kirk Cousins was. We do not need
don't
Kirk
know.
Cousins. We
But-
do not want Kirk Cousins. We do not need to bring Kirk
I feel
Cousins.
like-
You know
to,
the old rumors where
What
Bill
if-
Cowher was in Strongsville?
What if they're trying to get us off the scent or something?
Could be. So that's the rumor.
What if
I
they're
mean,
trying to tell other teams, hey, this is what we're doing. It's
right.
a plant.
that's right.
So that
So
we
Dollar
can
Dog
start-
Nick, right?
Yeah.
For big play, Dollar Dog Nick, he said the Browns team doctor, by the way, was 3 minutes from that City Barbecue, or 5 minutes, whatever it was, right there in Westlake. So maybe the Browns are doing a covert mission, looking for Kirk Cousins, trying to get a physical on him before they trade for him.
And I could
Who's
think,
to say?
and I agree with that. I
Oh,
think
okay.
that was possible. I think what he did was they had him come in, if they had him come in, to do the physical on him, because when you're talking about Kirk Cousins, I mean, that's a lot of money. He's making a lot of money. Hell, he just got a check for $10 million, but
Right.
still, I do not want to see Kirk Cousins come to the Cleveland Browns. I do not want him. I was going to say, looking at the Baltimore Ravens, guys, they've made some moves. They signed a cornerback, another guy to come in and compete with Humphreys and Nate Wiggins, and then they signed a big offensive lineman. And did you guys know that they also signed DeAndre Hopkins? He's a guy that's coming in. But here's the most important thing. With that big contract that those quarterbacks are getting right now, they said that there's talks going on right now with the Ravens and Lamar to extend that contract. And I think they almost have to, guys. They almost
Yeah,
have to.
right? Like,
It would be
and-
smart to do it.
And this, yeah.
It would be smart to do it. All right, I'm taking a break. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's
Get
take
me
a
out of
break. I
here.
got
Get me
another
out of
question
here.
For you. We'll wait. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We're going to go around the AFC North, brought to you by our friends at Garage Beer. We were just talking about some of these Ravens signings, Hanford. We didn't even talk about that John Harbaugh. Okay, one of the best coaches in NFL history gets that 3-year extension. He's got 17 seasons. That's the second longest active tenure. One of 5 coaches in NFL history to lead his team to the playoffs at least 12 times in
Well,
his 17 seasons.
Yeah, I was going to say, John is just He's been there. Seems like he's been there forever.
Yeah.
I mean, forever. I mean, he's and I think he deserved the extension too. Obviously, they want to get to the Super Bowl, win another Super Bowl, but you have to give him a lot of credit. He's held this team together, and I was just looking. You remember I just talked about some of the moves they made. They just signed a veteran cornerback. This guy Awuzie. How do you pronounce that, Pat?
Awuzie.
Awuzie. He's obviously he's the guy that's very familiar with the AFC North, and he was with Tennessee also. Obviously, he was with Cincinnati, but he was also just coming from Tennessee. And Tennessee, it was a great signing for the Ravens. I mean, he didn't have the best year last year, but I say it was a good signing for the Ravens because Tennessee still owes him $7.5 million this year. So he'll go out there. You got Marlon Humphrey, you got Nate Wiggins, you got two guys that he will compete with those guys to be that starting corner. And then they signed a huge big offensive lineman. Talking about Ben Cleveland is another guy they're bringing in. And obviously they have two wide receivers. We're talking about Wallace and Hopkins, giving Lamar more weapons to throw at. And again, we're talking about Lamar. I guarantee, don't be surprised if you hear really soon that they just extended Lamar.
They've had those internal discussions going here for the two-time NFL most valuable player.
Yeah, and I think if they extend him, I mean, every time one of those guys sign a new contract, we just saw the kid in Buffalo. I mean, every time you one of those guys, those quarterbacks sign, they're the highest paid quarterback ever.
We hit a record
Yeah,
number.
yeah.
And then the next year it gets eclipsed, or 2 years later it gets eclipsed. So that's,
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the Josh Allen contract.
Yeah.
He eclipsed Lamar's contract not that long ago.
Right.
And then he wins the MVP over Lamar, but Lamar's maybe going to get another contract extension.
Hey,
Interesting.
Hey,
Interesting.
Can you imagine? You know, those two guys. They're sitting down. They're talking to each other, and Josh Allen is looking at Lamar and said, you know, and Lamar is looking at, and Josh is saying, I'm the big dog right now. You know, I am the big dog, and Lamar is probably looking at him. Yeah, for how long?
yeah,
You know,
it's just a matter of time, and then I'm the big dog.
I guarantee you, though, what Lamar really said, truthfully, he said, "Congratulations, you deserved every penny of it." They're making a ton of money, so that's why I said it's very important to get a quarterback. And before Josh, though, we forgot all about there in Cincinnati.
Oh yeah, right.
Joe Burrow
Right.
signed. He had the biggest contract before Josh signed, because Joe Burrow did sign before Josh, correct? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he had the biggest contract. So those guys.
That's right. That felt like a few shows ago.
Oh,
we were just talking
just
about all these numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it's around the AFC North has really just been the contract updates in the NFL. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Lamar wants a deal now. John Harbaugh gets extended. The Steelers looking for a quarterback, guys. We're still waiting on that as of Monday, but you never know.
Let's take our guess. How much money do you think they give him this extension, Lamar?
Oh,
How much money
God.
do you think? So Joe Burrow signed, just a refresher here, 5-year, $275 million contract. And then
Eminem.
wasn't Josh Allen
Eminem.
260?
Eminem, I think
That's right.
what we call the millions, whatever it is. I mean, I guarantee you, it's going to be the highest.
Oh,
It's
no,
it's
that's right.
it's got to be the highest. It's got to be the highest contract as far as a quarterback is concerned.
Josh Allen was $330 million.
Damn. Damn. God damn. I gotta say it again.
Do you
Damn.
think, Hanford, at this point in time, do you think any of those 80s, 90s quarterbacks would be worth a contract like that?
Hell yeah.
Probably, right? I mean, you think about some of the quarterbacks who would have gotten this money and just didn't. Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Steve Young. I mean, Peyton Manning even as well. Like, just think about all those quarterbacks who didn't get paid because of the TV contract.
Don't say John Elway.
Well,
okay,
all right.
you could say all of them you want, but just
I
don't
don't.
say John Elway.
Why might that be?
Also, Bernie Kosar
right.
is another one that would be justified to get that kind of money. But the first one that came to my mind is the one you said first, Dan Marino. He would have been the first guy that came to my mind, even though Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Never won a Super Bowl, which is just unbelievable to me with all the talent, you know, Duper and Clayton, all the guys he had over there that he was throwing to, but he never won a Super Bowl. But John Elway, and we know he went to 3 Super Bowls, and they beat us 3 times in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
So that would make me a little sick every time I think about it. But that's all right.
So, guys, a little piece of trivia. What do you think Dan Marino, obviously one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, I've got his contract numbers up here. So it was
What do you
a
think he made?
6-year contract. This is his highest paid contract.
Okay,
Not total numbers,
6
but
years.
6 years. And it was from 1991 to 1996. What do you think the total number was for 6 years?
Okay,
Ooh.
give us the years again.
1991 to 1996,
91 to
the year I was born.
96.
I would say probably
30 million.
no, not even close.
Okay.
Not
Oh,
even
really?
close.
Okay.
I would say probably 6.
24 million.
24
$6 million a
million.
year. $6 million a year. But $24 million total
Which
for
is crazy.
6
I
years.
mean, we're talking about 330 million.
I know, right? Isn't that
To
wild?
go
Well,
yeah.
that's
nuts.
why when I say a guy like Josh Allen, a guy like Lamar, a guy like Joe Burrow, when they see a guy like Dan Marino, and I'm sure these guys, because the guys I mentioned, I'm sure they're nice guys
Yeah.
and they understand the guys before them, but they should go up to a guy like Dan Marino and just shake his hand, give him a big hug, and say, "Thank you, bro. Thank you. We really appreciate it, because without
Yeah.
you, we never would have been to this point that we are at right now, where we're making the kind of money that we're making."
Yeah. And
I think
put
that
your
jersey
body
behind
on
you
the
still
line.
fits if you want to get back out there, Hanford.
Yeah.
Jersey still fits, I think.
I have about 3 plays. I can't play over 3 plays. I can play 3 plays, Gab, but not over 3.
We know you do. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. It's time for our Lipton Hard Iced Tea hard-hitting question of the week. And you know, Hanford, we were talking about those owners' meetings, coaches' meetings, and all that. One of the things that has come to the forefront of conversation is the tush-push debate. You know, and weighing in on if we're keeping it or not. This is the quarterback sneak that in recent years, it's got that rugby-like variation, and it's been in multiple Super Bowl bids, including 2024's historic championship. So what are your thoughts on this tush-push debate?
Oh, man, I knew you were coming at me with that one. I knew it was coming, and I was thinking of what the hell was I going to say about that. You know, I would love to be, obviously, my boy, and I'm talking about Ozzy, he's at the meetings, and he would be in there when they're talking about this whole thing. And I don't know, guys. I mean, you know, you got a lot of coaches, they like it. They think it's great. But I think if you're on the defensive side, I think you got a lot of defensive coaches and some head coaches that don't like that tush push. But I can live with it. I can live without it. I mean, you know, you got Philadelphia. That's the team that really can operate this thing. They're the team that really can put it in motion, and they're very successful doing it. I think there is a place for it in the National Football League. I would be surprised if the owners vote to ban it.
It sounds like they may be doing this voting, and it said where was this? Yeah, at least 24 of them would need to vote in opposition of the play to have it banned.
Right.
You know, because they were doing a little breakdown, compliments of CBS Sports on, all right, which teams are for it. It looks like the Ravens are, Coach Harbaugh labeled it, you know, a football play. He didn't leave the door open for a change, but, you know, Kevin Stefanski said he's not in favor of legislating it out of the game.
Right.
So he's suggesting maybe the Browns are going to use variations of it in 2025. So they kind of went down the list here of who's in favor, who's not.
Well, I think a lot of teams that, you know, that's not in favor of it, I mean, they haven't been able to really, you know, get this thing going on their team. But I think there's a place for it. I mean, I think what needs to happen is the defense just needs to figure out a way how to stop it. I mean, you got to stop it. I mean, because it's in play. I mean, it's first of all, don't let them get in that position where they can use the damn tush push. I mean, if you want to stop it, I mean, to be frank with you, let's just keep them from like third or fourth down with a yard or half yard to go, and then you won't have to worry about them trying to do the tush push. But I would hate to see them get rid of that thing because there's a lot of thought that's, I think personally that's gone into it. But I think one of the rules are that you can't grab a player and pull them forward. And as long as they don't do that, I think they're okay with it because, the quarterback is just he was getting the snap and he's just putting his head down and he's just going forward, whether they use a quarterback. What wouldn't shock me if you see some of these teams starting using one of the big linemen or something instead of using a quarterback, but one of the big linemen. But the only problem with that is you don't know one of them big-ass linemen will fumble the ball or something.
Liability.
Yeah, that's
we
what
saw that. I mean, the Bears did that last season. They fumbled it on the 1 yard line, handed it off to an offensive lineman. Happens every year, guys. There's a turnover that just should not happen like that.
Yeah.
Can't you see the Bears way back using refrigerator Perry?
Oh yeah,
with that tush push. As big as he was. I mean, you talk about. I mean, this guy was just absolutely huge. But no, I like it. I think.
It sounds like there's only 3 teams opposed to it: the Bills, Cowboys, and Packers.
That's so funny that the Bills too, because they run it a decent amount. They run the quarterback sneak.
Yeah,
it's
with
not
Josh.
the same. It's not the exact same, but so this is like one of those true weight room issue guys.
Yeah.
Like Jalen Hurts squats 500 and whatever pounds, 600 pounds. Saquon Barkley squats 600 pounds, and he's pushing from behind. Get better. Get in the weight room if you want to stop this play. Like, I don't care what it is. It's not unfair. They're just stronger than you. That's all it is.
And I agree with you. I again, to just put a bow on this thing, let's keep it. Let's keep it. It is part of the game, and I think it should be in the game. But, at this owners' meeting, there's a lot of things. We don't know everything that they're voting on, but there's a lot of things that I think what the National Football League does, they do a really good job of taking the game to the next level, creating and things that make the National Football League better. And I think that's why the NFL is a much-watched game, because everybody, you can say what you want to say. I mean, even with let's just think of here in Cleveland, and I'll say this before we take a break. Let's think of the in Cleveland. I don't care how good the Cavs are doing right now. You got the guards who is hopefully have a phenomenal year, but this is still a Browns town. Everybody loves football, even when the Browns are, we haven't had a winning season in a while. I mean, guys, this is still a Browns town. It's still a football town.
And that's the Lipton Hard Iced Tea, hard-hitting tea. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We're talking Final Four, Hanford, NCAA Tournament, March Madness, Championship time coming up here. Any predictions, if you will? We could start with the women if you'd like.
Yeah, I would definitely love to start there because
South Carolina, UCLA. Now, we still have a game as of shooting this tonight. We're going to have another. We've still got more before we're in the Final Four here.
Is UConn playing tonight? I think.
So it's TCU, UConn and Southern California.
And you know who I'm getting ready to talk about with UConn?
Paige Becker.
Yes.
Ultimate girl crush.
Let me tell
here.
you, she is just a monster.
Yeah.
I mean, that girl can play.
She's incredible. And, she's one who's been plagued with injuries. We'll talk a little bit about Juju Watkins and, unfortunately, the ACL scenario.
Right.
But, that's just something that happens with women's basketball especially. I don't know. We're just X% more inclined to get those type of knee injuries just based on our structure, our anatomy and setup. Mm-hmm. So it's so tough because Paige is seriously such a baller. I'm glad she's having a really great year.
She dropped a 40 piece on, I mean, just like I'm talking about inside, outside, just shooting the lights out. I mean, she is just
and we were
unbelievable.
joking about it during the break, but you've seen some of these memes probably, but people forget that Paige was like Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark. She's just been a little derailed by injuries here and there.
Well, I'm a little bit shocked that one of the teams that did make it, who's normally there every year, is LSU. And I always love to watch LSU play. Did you see the colors that the
Did you see that?
the coach?
Yeah.
She is something else, man. She is
Kim Mulkey.
Yeah,
We were looking at, and I don't know.
She is something.
I don't
man.
know if you guys saw it, but there was a media member who, in her post-game press conference, she started roasting, like, how many Final Fours have you been to?
What did she? Oh.
But it was kind of funny because it felt a little out of place. Like, I don't think he was really
right.
He was just asking a question.
And
But
I could,
you know Kim Mulkey.
And I could see her. I could see her. I could see her doing that. What were you gonna say, Pat?
Yeah, toss this up here, guys.
Yeah.
See if we can get it. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she.
Yeah, this
she,
was the clip I was
she
talking about.
is
She kind of
something
shut him down, but I
else.
don't feel like he was coming at her in a way that was intended to be all, like, rude or anything.
Right.
But her outfit.
Yeah, listen to
Jaden
this,
Smith,
guys.
KLSU Sports. Coach, it's the second straight year you guys get eliminated in the Elite Eight. Just, yeah. Terrible.
How many Final Fours you play in?
None.
So it's probably pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Kim. Congratulations. You bested some kid reporter. Oh, great.
Yeah, what
Congratulations,
is she doing
Kim.
there?
Hey, she
I don't
set
get
it.
it.
She set him up with that one too.
Yeah.
I mean, she set him.
It wasn't the context for that type of bullying, but you know, she's an intense personality.
And the poor guy just probably felt so
I
bad.
know,
I
'cause it's
mean,
like, all right, like especially if she's making a grown person
Yeah.
like answer her rhetorical question.
Yeah,
no
yeah,
way, man,
yeah,
no
yeah.
way.
But what about South Carolina is there again?
Yes.
You just and for a minute there, that was a low scoring game. In the 50s. I didn't know if they were going to make it, but they made it. They're in the Final Four, so it's gonna. We'll see what happens. But guys, let's switch to the guys.
Yeah, the men's. All right, so we've got Duke.
This is the Duke versus Houston.
Okay, and then
And
Auburn.
you got Auburn playing Florida. And listen to this now. Auburn, you better watch out.
Okay.
Because they played Florida earlier during the season, and Florida beat Auburn. Guys, I have a question for you
All right,
guys.
so who are you picking?
I'm going to go with, I hate to say this, but I'm going to have to stick with the Alabama team. And don't you guys start on me about Alabama not making it, because Alabama had to go up against Duke, and we all know how tough Duke is right now.
I'll tell you what, those two teams yesterday, and we're recording this on Monday, they could not throw a shot into the ocean. Like Tennessee had 8 points with 4 minutes left to go in the first half. Alabama couldn't buy one.
Could
it's
not.
really tough because they're really quality teams, and it's more of a statement on the defense of Duke and everything. But oh man, was it tough to watch some of those games, man.
Well,
Brutal.
especially after Alabama hit the record 3 points in the last game. I mean, and just didn't happen.
They
Now,
shot 51 threes, Hanford.
Yeah.
They made half of them, but they shot 51 in a 40-minute basketball game. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Hey.
nuts.
That's crazy.
I have a question for you guys. Did the committee get it right this time? Because you look at the Final Four,
I know.
all
one
number one seeds are in the Final Four. I have to say yes.
Now, does this mean there's more automatic bracket filling people? I was out there doing my random picks and just trying to do some upsets here and there. Does this mean that we should just default to ESPN or whatever site you're using to fill in your bracket next time?
Well, I think this is like the second time, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think this is the second time that that they got it right like this, with all number one seeds
Final Four.
being in the Final Four, which is
Yeah, they're saying, okay, it's the second time
Because-
since.
because what you're not going to
Expansion.
have, you're not going to. I mean, everybody want to see an underdog. A lot of people
Right.
want to see an underdog come in there and win, but I want to see the best. I want
Truly.
to see the best going against the best, and I think that's what we're
Yeah.
going to get in this Final Four, which I think is going to. And I think that starts Saturday. I want to say of next week.
Yes, it
Because
does.
Of this
hasn't-
week, so-
this hasn't featured as many upsets this year either. And to jump off of what you were saying, so this is the second time since 1985 since they made that expansion to 64 teams that we've seen all one seeds in the Final Four.
But Gab, Pat, check me out on this one. If you don't, and you guys know what I'm talking about, that freshman from Duke.
Sheesh.
This kid is 17 years old, Pat. 17 years old.
Cooper Flag.
And he is doing things that's
Yeah.
Believable.
Yeah, he's 6'9", and I mean,
Highlights
like,
are awesome.
yeah, exactly. for real.
17 years old.
His mixtape is crazy too, because I'm gonna pull this up here, guys.
How do you get that big at 17?
I wish I knew. I would have done it. But guys, so I don't know if you know what Ken Palm rankings are, but these are the basically the college basketball rankings of all time.
Okay.
These are the top 10 rankings. Like these are by ratings, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
The best college basketball teams of all time. 4 of the top 10 of all time in Ken Palm's rankings are in this Final Four.
Wow.
This is probably the greatest Final Four we've ever seen, in my opinion.
Wow.
But I mean, like, it's wild because any of these teams could win, and you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
And I can't wait to watch it.
Can't
I
wait.
just absolutely can't wait
Yeah.
to watch it. I
Can't
think
wait.
it's going to be electric just watching these 4 teams go at it. But, Auburn, I'm telling you, they're peaking at the right time right now. They're playing really, really well, right? Florida's playing well. Houston's playing well. Duke is playing well. So
We'll see if your prediction holds soon enough, Hanford.
who's going to win it all? Real quick.
For the men.
Yes.
Maybe should I just tag team with you and go Auburn? I don't really have a dog in the fight. You know what I mean? I don't have any. I'm impartial.
Pat, who's going to win it all?
My Xavier Muskies couldn't get it done, but the Duke Blue Devils are going to win it because they're a really phenomenal free throw shooting team. The hard part is Houston is really good. No one's talking about Houston right now. And honestly, it would be pretty much a toss-up between them and Duke. I think whoever wins that game wins the championship. So I'll go with Duke, but if it's not Duke, Houston.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see, guys. Can't wait to see.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We're closing out our show. Want to talk a little baseball with you, Hanford, before we head out. I know you're a big fan. Guards just kicking off their season. As of shooting this show, 2-1. And we got the home opener around the corner we're getting excited for. But I know you like a little drama discussion. The thing I wanted to ask you about was this whole idea of the Yankees and the torpedo bat. Did you? I'm sure you read about some of this.
Listen to this. These numbers are just unbelievable. Unbelievable. In 3 games, the Yankees got 36 runs.
15 home runs.
15.
In that 3-game span.
Guess who has 4 of them? Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge has got 4 in 3 games.
An MIT-educated physics professor at the University of Michigan for 7 years. He's been like doing stuff to solve these sorts of problems and work. I don't know, something with the bats or whatever. But they moved the logo and put it in the center. Something about like that being the meatiest part of the bat for contact.
They moved the barrel down so that it's closer towards the handle, I guess you could say. So there's more meat on the bone for the bat. More space to actually hit it, and that's where the Yankees were hitting a lot of the pitches off the end of the bat last year and not getting the true power that they could have gotten. So now they tried to move it down towards the handle, and it seems to be working pretty good, guys.
Well, this is a thing that really makes me mad. Everybody's complaining. Well, not everybody, but some people are complaining about them using this bat. It's not like this bat is illegal. I mean, whoever want to use this bat, they can use this bat.
Yeah.
I mean,
So get us those bats.
yeah. I mean,
They were saying the players were just frustrated by the pitching being so good. Okay, well then we got this bat, and everybody go ahead and try it out. Let's see what happens.
You can say what you want to say. The Yankees are the Yankees, and they are just coming off red hot. I mean, red hot this year. And but the Guards are not bad neither, because the Guards should be 3-0. They should be 3-0, guys. They lost. The second game of the match with Kansas City, but they came back and they won 2 out of 3. So that's a good thing. Guys, I tell you what, this kid right now is just out of his mind, the way he's hitting the baseball. And I'm not talking about Big Christmas.
I know you're talking about Mustache Manzardo.
That's right.
Did you like the
Manzo
mustache?
This kid's going to be so exciting to watch at home.
And he's hitting
cannot
with
wait
power.
for fans to see what he's all about. Just, God, give us a good health for this season. Keep everybody healthy. Let these guys come out and do their thing. This is going to be a fun guy to see.
He's hitting with power.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when he hits a home run, it's not just going over the fence. I mean, it's way over the fence.
Yeah.
And he's hitting left-handed pitchers. He's hitting right-handed pitchers. I mean, this kid, the Guardians, I almost said the Indians, but the Guardians, I mean, they found the guy with this guy. I mean, they really.
I know it's a small sample size. We're 3 games in, but he did have a great spring. And so far in the 3 games, he's got a couple of home runs, 6 RBIs. And that's coming on the heels of smashing 5 home runs and 69 plate appearances last September.
Well, you know what I
For those
think?
Who forgot.
You know what I think?
What's that?
I think he's using that new bat.
Yeah, well,
I
did
think,
he get a head start for us?
I think he's got that new bat
'Cause if not,
that he.
just wait till he gets one. You know,
He's hit. And guys, we dodged a bullet with Jose. I mean, we really dodged a
it sounds
bullet
like he's
because
all
did you
right.
see that slide when he went in there to second base and he hurt his wrist? I mean, its wrist got caught up underneath there.
Was that the same wrist too? Remember, he had a problem with his hand. At
broke his
one
hamate bone. Yep, right here on the wrist. It's
I
called the hamate
am
bone.
just
Yeah, was it
so
the same arm? I
don't know.
happy that they did X-rays. And everything came back
Yeah.
negative. I am just
That was
so
huge.
happy about that, man, because
That's
we
what I'm
can't
saying.
afford to
Just
lose
need
him.
Everybody healthy.
And we got one of our stars back, Pat. He came back. Well, he seems he's been playing with the Indians for a while. Let me see. He go to the Indians. He come back.
Oh yeah.
Santana. What's his name?
Carlos
Santana.
Santana.
Yeah,
Slam
Santana
Tana.
is back.
right.
You know?
It's funny because he's in better shape. I know that they say that every year, best shape of his life, blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah. But like this year, he actually like kind of looks like it. Carlos is coming off his first Gold Glove year, and I mean he won it at 38 last year, I think it was, with the Twins. I love it. I've never really been a big Carlos Santana guy, but I think I like it for this year.
Yeah, and you know what? He loves Cleveland. He historically just
Loves
plays
it.
well in Cleveland and has said that. Has
Yeah.
made points.
Funny
about
story too is that he had a house in Bracknell, and maybe a week before he signed with the Guards or whatever it was this offseason, he sold the house. he held the house
That
for probably
long.
like 10 years or
Right,
something like that. And then right next to our guy Ken over there in Bracknell, he sold the house.
He wanted to
Isn't
get
that
rid.
crazy?
Probably he wanted to get rid of that thing. He was like, I got a chance. I got an offer on it, and I am go. Can we say go Guards?
Go Guards,
All
baby.
right. Take me out.
That'll
Take
do
me
it
out.
for the Hanford Dixon show this week. We got to end on a high note. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.